When I said that the market was going to be choppy, this is the sort of price action that I was talking about. During the last hour, this is the S&P 500 on a 1 minute time frame. During the last hour, we were in a 40-cent range, and then we ended up just skyrocketing to the upside during the last 10 minutes. We're bullish. We're going to be remaining bullish until there are clear-cut bearish signs. I do think that the market still has a bit more room to go. I'm going to talk about what my upside targets would be. But currently, we're up pretty comfortably on our calls, on our longs. So we were, pretty aggressively long on multiple different tickers into new all-time highs. I said that the all-time highs would occur, and here we are. So we're going to take a look at what the next steps are for the market. We're going to take a look at the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the large tech stocks, the VIX, put it all together and contextualize what is going to happen next. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with the video. All right, guys, so there are multiple ways to go about looking for upside targets in the market. After we make new all-time highs, right? After the S&P 500, we can just look at the SPY on a daily. Disregard my colorful chart, right? It's just a bunch of fib levels from the past. To look for a new upside target, there are a few ways that you could go about doing that. You can either look for how much potential room there is in the biggest movers, or you could simply also look at prior important levels that are now fib extension levels. So, for example, this most recent move that we just had from the lows to the highs, we have a fib extension to 630. So, obviously, in the short term, the 630 level is not going to be our target to the upside. So, one main sort of target that I've assumed that we're going to end up having on the market as we continue up, especially heading into OPEX. It might not happen, even this week or next week, but eventually, right? This move to the upside, as long as we can maintain above this uptrend level, as long as the ES, so this is the S&P 500 futures, as long as the ES can hold above 6,100, then the SPY has a bit more room to go. It could easily see 615, 616. My whole point is I'm still going to be remaining long until there are good opportunities to start shorting. Right now is not that opportunity just yet. The SPY is making new highs. The NASDAQ is making new highs. We can look at this on the futures chart as well. This is just starting to really break out a bit. And yeah, we could have reversals back to levels of support. But as long as these levels of support hold, these are continued upside potential moves. So to be extremely bearish while the market is making new highs like this is not an intelligent move. And we're going to be looking at these large tech stocks to really, really hunker down and make it, to really drive home the point. Okay, so start off with Google. Google is chopping around at a level of support. Microsoft also sitting at a level of support, literally chopping around, has not really done anything in terms of price action. Tesla made a bit of a bounce, consolidating after a big move to the upside. We went long at 330. So this is obviously just needs to consolidate, right? NVDA had a big move to the upside, broke above 141, 142 today, and just reclaimed back at 139 as support. Spectacular. Normal stuff. Meta also having a bit of a red day after just constant moves to the upside. So Meta had a bit of a red day. Makes sense. Needs that as well. Netflix, same concept. Bit of a red day. Amazon broke below some lows, but it's still holding support. This is just still a generally... This is just still a zone of price action. We haven't really capitulated lower. 222 is major support. My point is, let's also take a look at Apple. Apple consolidating. AMD is also showing some strength at the lows. Great, awesome. So what did we do just looking at all of these stocks? What does it look like? What does it look like to you guys? Are these automatic amazing shorting opportunities? Do you want to go short Netflix? Would you go short Netflix here? The answer should be no. You don't want to go short a winning, amazing. It's not amazing, but it's been a huge winner, right? You don't want to try to short a huge winner. You would rather play alongside the trend. Same concept with Meta. I would be very fearful of trying to short a big winner, right? So because these are not amazing shorting opportunities, and because regardless of these big red days, what happened? The SPY and the NASDAQ still made new highs, right? So it goes to show, regardless of the red moves in those stocks, the market is still bullish in the NASDAQ and the S&P. So with that being said, it is very, very difficult to, purely based off of what we just see from equities, from stocks themselves, because these large tech stocks, they move the market. You have to look at how the large tech stocks are doing as a gauge to see how much more room there is in the overall market. If the large tech stocks are going to show weakness, then you could assume that there's going to be weakness in the SP500 and the NASDAQ. But if these large tech stocks are consolidating at their highs, or if they're holding support at the lows, basically it gives a good indication that the market wants to continue rising. That's what I'm getting. It doesn't automatically, this is not an automatic amazing opportunity to go long. By all means, we're already at new highs. We went long before this move occurred. So we're comfortable. But now the concept is how much more vigor do these bulls want to have? And what do we need to look for moving forward? We need to continue looking to see if NVIDIA, if Apple, especially also if Tesla can continue moving up. So we need to see if these three stocks can continue moving up. And we need to see if Microsoft and Google start to bounce off of these lows that they've been consolidating at for the past few days. Because Google and Microsoft have been consolidating. If they start rallying up and a rotation occurs from the winners into these stocks as well, then yeah, there's definitely a lot more room to go to the upside. But if these start really breaking lower and just a lot of the other large tech stocks starts to break lower, the move is not going to sustain itself purely off of the back of Meta and Netflix. These stocks need to start showing some bullishness. And we need to see if that occurs soon. So that is what we're going to have to monitor. That's what we're going to have to look for. And of course, you know, we were also looking at how the VIX is a really important indicator of basically to ascertain which direction the market wants to go. So the VIX is currently not doing a whole lot. So what ended up happening later in the day. So obviously towards the middle part of the day, the SPY ended up making new lows. We ended up dropping to 608, 609. We were chopping around there. But then in the later half of the day, the SPY started to bounce off of the lows, and we closed at the highs in a monstrous form towards the end of the day, right? So we made lows, and then we ended up bouncing. So the VIX had a bit of a bounce from these levels of support. And the reason why we're looking at the VIX is because the VIX has an inverse relationship to the market. So the VIX was rising, right? It was rising in the middle of the day because the market was falling. So it has an inverse relationship. So as the VIX was rising like this, it meant that the SPY was falling. But then, you know, obviously the SPY rose again, so that's what caused the VIX to basically drop heavily. So now we basically just need to watch to see if the VIX can hold this $15 level, regardless of whatever this is moving forward, right? This is trying to hold support. The VIX is, pragmatically speaking, right now, the VIX is trying to hold support. Based off of equities, the equities are showing a bit more of a bullish structure in the overall market. The large tech stocks are still showing that they want to continue rising, but the VIX is holding this zone of support between $14.50 and $15. Why this is relevant is because if the VIX is holding support like this, this means that the VIX wants to rise, right? And if the VIX rises, that means the overall market should fall. So this is just one of the only things that I really see in the market currently that wants to showing a bit of bearishness, but in general, this is still, the market is still in a good spot for some strength. We are comfortable in our longs. We are, thankfully, things are, working really, really well for that. But what I will say is the market in general is in a choppy spot. It's in a very, very choppy spot. Tomorrow we have Fed minutes coming out at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Expect implied volatility to be much higher. Expect more choppiness. The choppiness that we saw today towards the end of the day was really, really abnormal. And expect more of that tomorrow. Do not get duped by trying to go long alongside momentum. Don't try to go short alongside momentum. Purely during market environments like this, stick to support and resistance. Go long at support, go short at resistance. Don't overthink. Don't assume any breakouts are occurring. It's not the market structure for that right now. If you look at this on a daily time frame, right? Yes, we're breaking new highs, right? The market is obviously, in general, it's still showing some bullishness, right? But what is going on this week? We had a short week. We have Fed minutes coming out tomorrow, and then we have more news Thursday and Friday. So a lot of the market is going to be anticipating this news. So do not automatically just say, okay, I'm going to buy every dip. I'm going to buy every dip. We were buying every dip this morning. That worked out really, really well. We made a lot of money day trading as well. So that worked. But I don't think it's going to work as easily tomorrow. Especially, let's end up seeing, how the overnight price action is going to be. I'm interested to see how that's going to occur. But regardless, should be good. Should be good. We took a look at everything except the Russell. The Russell is still just garbage. So, really the market is going to be keying off of tech, obviously. But regardless, pragmatically, yeah, the Russell is a piece of crap. Not doing great, but it's still a bull flag. This bull flag occurred on the SPY. We ended up breaking out already. But, of course, because the Russell is a piece of crap, we haven't broke out just yet. So, with that being said, we took a look at all these different factors. Overall, things do look bullish. The VIX is the only thing that is a bit worrisome. And we really, really need to see if Google and Microsoft can hold support. And we really, really want to see if Apple, NVIDIA, AMD, and Tesla can continue rising. That's really what we're going to be monitoring, especially Amazon above 222. If all of those conditions are met, then the market can continue rising. I still think that the market is bullish. I'm in no means going to start being extremely bearish, but now, would I newly enter long here? Would I newly start going long up here? Definitely not. I would definitely not start going long up here. If it does, God bless. Congratulations. But I would absolutely, after making new all-time highs, I would never get duped. I would never, ever get duped into going long like this. So, yeah, we just need to see if bulls just keep it rising. I wouldn't mind it because we're long. But when I personally start going long up here, definitely not. And, yeah, should be fun. Let's see what ends up happening. With that being said, I hope things continue working out really, really well. I hope things work out for you guys and for everything that's going on in your lives. I really hope you guys overcome every struggle, every pain point that you guys are dealing with. And I hope you guys just have a positive mindset and a positive perspective with what you're dealing with. Life is not always going to be perfect, but if you look at life as a way of learning, perspective really helps. So, things that are going wrong in your life, it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily need to be a terrible thing. These are just opportunities for you to learn, opportunities for you to grow, opportunities for us to grow as individuals, and we can learn from this and end up helping other people around us to make life in general a better place. So I hope whatever you guys are dealing with, you guys overcome it, and I hope everything works out. And not sure how I got here, but if you guys want to speak to me about anything privately, please feel free to reach out. I would love to. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday night. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your trading week. I will be here bright and early tomorrow morning in the Discord. All right, love you guys. Have a good one. Take care.